What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Masi Warrior Clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomenon with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Masi Warrior Clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his own
y'all?
genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all
I
did.
don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. Genealogy.
Sutek tried to line it up, and he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal Power won't even debate Sean because he too disrespectful.
He is though. No, he really is though. I can't really, like you, bro, you cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up with But niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro, but we gotta get in the ring first. If you want to be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro. Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. You know what I mean? Put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't even be fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, it's like, wait, bro, talk like that. We gotta get face to face with you to talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel me? Go ahead, I got my brother already. Peanut, what's the word, my brother? What's the champ?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but Lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit as I stay in shape. But I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not going to get nowhere lying, because that's what's going to make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dude. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African. So don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
You heard it. If Sean P want to debate, tell him to debate the champ over there, right?
Sutek wanted so this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Sean want you and Sutek want him. You say PMF ain't
It's no problem. It's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that, son. I love that warrior mentality.
That's how it's going. I love to tell Sutek, tell me. It ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. Have him pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. We'll make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We'll make it work. So, you heard it right here. He ain't ducking no phase, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He put this over here on y'all channel, but then when we get in other
hey, alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there. Nigga, stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga lie on me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me?
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan-African channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't do PNF like that.
PNF, he trying to trigger you, brother. And
what the fuck up?
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, word on the street, I'm ducking from John P. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like...
Yo, 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 yo. What's the scenario? It's your boy Sean P in the place to be, man. Like the show, share the show. Like the show, share the show. Hold on. I had to restart my computer real quick, man. Hope all is well out there in these YouTube streets. I did see some comments that was kind of disturbing. So you been over there with Bias Ron, huh? Bias Ron, huh? Hold up. I had to make sure I ain't echo when I came on board. Okay, there we go. Hold on, let me mute out. All right. Yep. Cool. Y'all can hear me. All right. Let me make sure my stream y'all was tripping. You gonna hear an echo for right now. Actually, I'm gonna dead the echo here. Put my earbud in. I just want to make sure before I kick myself out that I can be heard. Hit that button. Hit that like button, man. Get your people in the building. Okay, yeah. Alright, so y'all shouldn't be able to hit it. I'm gonna put him in the back. Yeah. Like that, like this, like that, and okay. Let me see, man. So again, peace to everybody out there today, man. It's your boy Sean P in the place P. In the place to be. We dealing with Aboriginal ignorance today, FBA Aboriginal ignorance. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So we're going to review debate 2, part of a debate. But before we get into the debate stuff, right, I need to set the foundation so we don't get lost in the sauce. We got fat-headed ass Mika in the chat. She says that the Hebrews are now ABOs. So they abos or ABO blood? Which one? You know, they be tripping. What up, Ramon? What's good with you? Kimmy, like I said, he in the chat. Keisha in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got? We got Rye in the building. Midday with the Mossy, what's good? Big Rockzilla in the building. I told him I was 91% African. You know what he said? I had to be dark skinned to be the high percentage of African FBAs are dumb. You don't have to be dark skinned, bro. Listen. How dark skinned is All right, can y'all hear me? Testing, 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 testing. All right, let me know if the echo is clear. Ah, shit. Testing, testing. You breaking up better. You good? All right, okay. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on, man. This thing is, it was perfectly fine until I hit the live button. Hold on, let me take this earbud out. I hate talking through this earbud. Okay, what about now? What about now? All right, I need to do myself a favor real quick. So hold on. Before we get the show on the road, I need to do something. The charger, the power cord I get, need to go buy me a new Mac plug. I really just need to buy a whole new Mac. But who wants to spend $1,500 on a Mac? I know I don't. I made me a sweet potato pie at my boss. All right, okay. Let me see if y'all can hear me all right now. I'm waiting on my laptop to load. So we're gonna review a debate today. But I want to set the foundation because hold up, it says you shut down your computer because of a problem. If you want to open an application instead of open. If you want to open an application, shut down. Yeah, open nigga. All right. So let's see how my computer finna act. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna be talking through my phone, and then I just want to make sure I'm able to share my screen. But I really need to make sure this video work because I don't want it chopping up. Where everybody at, man? I know they at work today. The last message I see on here is Ramon saying you good, and then I don't see no other message. 3 minutes. That was 3 minutes ago. The Abo disinformation agents out here. All right, so again, man, hopefully everybody is can hear me pretty good. Please put in the chat if you cannot hear me. Put in the chat. I can see the comments. But before we do this, I want to kind of show y'all this real quick. Let me pause this.
This is a classic debate, y'all. I want y'all to be able to tune into this one. This is a classic. Then.
All right, so this debate was maybe 2 weeks ago. The title of the debate is Did American Indians Participate in the United States Before 1924? This is Dulcinea versus some dude named Anton. This the full debate. Did American Indians participate in the United States before 1924? This is what they're debating over there. So who are American Indians? As you can see from the flyer, this looks like some made up stuff, right? Of course, always to kind of throw you off. But this dude over here looks Native American, but this sister right here does not, phenotypically speaking, and the hairstyle and all of that, right? Just doesn't look like it. She looked like Sanaa Lathan, right? So the first thing that I want to do is before we get into all the ignorance, is I want to establish who are American Indians. So before we get into the debate, we must understand that I don't know if Dosey and I don't know if Anton is going to define who are American Indians. I ain't seen it. We're going to experience this ignorance together. So I want to pull up briefly some legal definitions of American Indian, right? And I said legal definitions because I have six sources that I want to utilize in order to lay the groundwork for who is being defined as American Indian. Okay. Now, from Cornell Law School, in the United States law, the term Indians refer generally to the indigenous peoples of North American continent at the time of European colonization. Alaska Natives and Native Hawaiians refer to people who are indigenous to the areas occupied by those named states. The terms tribe or band designate a group of indigenous people of the same or similar heritage, united in a community under one leadership or government and inhabiting a particular territory. Because Indians have increasingly preferred nation or people, the term tribe has become controversial. The terms used may vary from statute to statute and case to case as well. Okay. All right. Here go another definition. This is coming from the U.S. Code of House.gov. It says, for the purpose of this chapter, the term Native American means an Indian. Y'all hear that? The term Native American means Indian, Native Hawaiian, or Native American Pacific Islander. The term Indian has the meaning given to such term under Section 7491, Article 3 of the Title 20. The term Native Hawaiian has the meaning given to such a term in the section blah, blah, blah. The same as Native American Pacific Islander. And then it goes on, the terms Indian tribe and tribal organization and so forth, right? Laying the foundation for the term Native American. Remember, they said something different, American Indian. So I'm throwing these terms out there because I'm about to show you how synonymous American Indian and Native American are based on definitions. Okay? All right. Over time, indigenous people of the United States have been referred to by many names. Today, the most common names are American Indian, Native American, Indigenous, or Native, right? This is coming out of Pratt Institute Library. Okay? We ain't got to draw it out. We ain't got to do none of the crazy stuff. We need to properly define who an American Indian is. So they say American Indians are the indigenous peoples in the United States, and they say they have been referred to by many names. Today, the most common names are American Indian, Native American, Indigenous, or Native. So, synonymously speaking, American Indians are Native Americans. Although all of these terms are still actively used, Native people prefer to be called by their specific tribal name. So, These people that are in the Aboriginal community that are claiming to be American Indians, they need to properly define themselves by how other tribes define themselves, and that is by tribal name, specific tribal name. See, when we nail them down to a specific tribal name, now we can weed them out because they're not a part of those tribes, right? That is why you can't find Bottom Kittens, Dane Calloway, and none of these dudes being specific to a tribe, right? I'm gonna move forward. It says in the United States, the term Native American has been widely used. Still, it is a fallout of a favor with some groups, and the terms American Indian or Indigenous American are preferred to by many Native people. American Indian, Indian, Native American, or Native are acceptable and often used interchangeably in the United States. However, Native people often have individual preferences on how they would like to be addressed. Okay, so that's from the Pratt Institute. We went to the uscode.house.gov. We went to Cornell Law Institute for a definition. Now we're going to go to Washington courts. We're going to go to Washington courts where they have a PDF document. This chapter 13, attachment 3, and this is how they define American Indian or Alaskan Native. It is a person with some degree of Indian blood and who is recognized as an Indian by a tribe and or the United States. There is no singular definition for who is an American Indian, Alaska Native. These terms are often interchanged with Native American, Indian, Indigenous, or tribal people. Keep it short, keep it sweet, drive the point home that Native Americans are American Indians. The term is synonymous. We must understand who are American Indians. Got another one out of Iowa. It doesn't, it actually does, but I'm not about to read every instance of this dictionary because this is in a 22-page literature, and I'll highlight some of this stuff real quick for you. But it's just regurgitating the information that is here and how they properly define. This is something about terms. As you can see, definitions of Indians. You know, if you want me to scroll up a little bit more, definitions of Indians, and then these, my bad. And then these case numbers associated with them by the federal. So all of these, like I said, are attached to that. Federal statutory and regulatory definitions of Indian. So you go. So these are governmental definitions on who they say are which, what, where, how, when. Who these nouns are. I'm gonna say it like it. Who these nouns are. So again, in December 22, I conducted searches of West, blah, 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 blah. They tell you the story, yada, 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 yada. The federal statutory and regulatory code definitions of Alaska Natives, Urban Indian, and Native Americans are also provided in the appendices 2 through 4, respectively. So you know what this is. This is what they're doing. Excuse me. So they're all there. Appendix 1, Indian. Appendix 4, Native American. And there's a reason why they're doing that, because people like them are over there tripping. But anyway, so it is what it is. So we know that synonymously speaking, the American Indian and the Native American are synonymous. It says the term Indian means persons recognized as. Can y'all hear me okay? Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Need to grab this other charger for this phone. Oh man. All right. So, as you can see on the screen, the term Indian means persons recognized as Indian or Alaska Native by an Indian tribe, the federal government, or any state. Any 10 or more Indians as determined by official tribal rolls or Indian descendants of such enrolled members or Indians as defined in the Act of June 18, 1934. There you go. One more. I said I had 6. All right, this is from Justia, as you can see. Native Americans, often called American Indians or Indians, are the indigenous people who, before colonization, first inhabited the territory now encompassed by the United States. I said it exactly like that for a specific reason. That's how I read it, so that you could catch the fade. Native Americans, also called American Indians or Indians, are the indigenous peoples who, before colonization, first inhabited the territory now encompassed by the United States. We are clear. Now, we have set a foundation for who are Native Americans, and the Native Americans are the American Indians. Now, I can go a step further and show some scientific sources to deal with the history of these people, just so we have a proper foundation that we are talking about the same people. Okay? But you know what? Let's do that. Let's fuck the whole debate up early. Fuck it. All right. Hold on. Let me pull up one source. So let's go to the older source, and we can come to all the evidence that we have in 2025, which is significant. If you're interested in DNA, Native American history, or genetic genealogy, then you're undoubtedly heard of a new paper from PLOS 1 called The Phylogeneity of 4 Pan-American mtDNA haplogroups, Implications for Evolutionary and Disease Study. The authors from all around the world, right? All around the world, including Hugo Perego from SMGF and Antonio Torino of Italy, analyzed over a complete Native American mtDNA genomes. This is from the abstract. In this study, a comprehensive overview of all available complete mitochondrial mtDNA genomes of the 4 Pan-American haplogroups A2, B2, C1, and D1 is provided by revising the information scattered throughout the gene bank and literature and adding 14 novel mtDNA sequences. The phylogenetics of haplogroups A2, B2, C1, and D1 reveal a large number of subhaplogroups that suggests that the ancestral Beringian populations contributed to only 6 successful founder haplotypes to these haplogroups. All Native Americans, which is synonymous with American Indian, mtDNA can be traced back to 5 haplogroups called A, B, C, D, and X. More specifically, Native American mtDNA belongs to subhaplogroups that are unique to the Americas and not found in Asia or Europe. A2, B2, C1, D1, and X2A, with minor groups C4C, D2, D3, D4, H3. Based on the study, the A2, B2, C1, and D1 groups are estimated to have developed between 18 to 21,000 years ago. Since the Native American mtDNA subhaplogroups are not found in Asia, they are believed to have developed while founding. Groups were crossing into the Americas from Asia via the Beringia. The study suggests that 95% of Native American mtDNAs are descended from the 6 founding mothers of the A2B2, C1b, C1d, and D1 subhaplogroups. The other 5% is composed of X2A, D2, D3, C4, and D4H3 subhaplos. It should be noted that these results are not considered the last word of the subject, as more sequences and further research is needed from the paper. Then it gives you a snapshot. This was 2008, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. Okay, there we go. Now, let's go a little bit further, right? Watch this. Mitogenome evidence shows 2 radiation events and dispersals of matrilineal ancestry from northern coastal China to the Americas and Japan. The highlights in this Cell article are simple, and we won't stretch it to confuse anyone. The Native American, which is synonymous with American Indian lineage D4H3A, can trace its ancestry to northern coastal China. Radiations of D4H contribute to gene pools of Native Americans and Japanese. Coastal radiations of D4H support the coastal right of early Native Americans. In summary, although it is widely recognized that the ancestors of Native Americans primarily came from Siberia, the link between mitochondrial mtDNA lineage D4H3A and D4H3B, found so far in East China and Thailand, raises the possibility that the ancestral sources for early Native Americans were more variegated than hypothesized. Here, we analyzed 216 contemporary D4H mitogenomes and 39 previously reported DH4 data. The results revealed 2 radiation events of D4H in northern coastal China and during the last glacial maximum, and the other within the last glaciation, which facilitated the dispersal of D4H sub branches to different areas, including the Americas and Japanese archipelago. The coastal distributions of the Native Americans D4H3A and Japanese lineages D4H1A and D4H2, in combination with Paleolithic archaeological similarities among northern China, the Americas, and Japan, lend support to the coastal dispersal scenario of early Native Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, this article was published to you on May 30th, 2023, just so you know how updated it was. I came from 2008 all the way to freaking 2023. That was by accident, but I did it. All right, so before we get going, I just need to continue to provide an argument here. So I want to just kind of lay the smack down and bounce around just a little bit with sources. So Federal Tribe uses ancient DNA to establish genetic link to ancestral sacred sites, right? They're using DNA to establish genetic link to ancestral sacred sites. This may pose a problem for a lot of people, as they won't be able to get by with their bullshit. All right, so in a rare collaboration with geneticists and archaeologists, a federally recognized tribe in the United States has utilized ancient DNA to establish a genetic link to an important ancestral heritage site, Pueblo Bonito in Chaco Canyon. Study published in Nature establishes the strongest genetic connection yet between present-day individuals from Pueblo Pueblo and Chaco Canyon, which is a New Mexico historical site central to Pueblo ancestry. I love saying Pueblo. Yeah, we know, right, that they don't believe in DNA, but guess what? We don't need them to believe in DNA. We don't need them to believe in DNA, right? We don't need them to believe in something that we got the evidence for. So the hell with that. All right, recognizing the potential of ancient DNA to help secure links in the past, Precurious tribal leadership reached out to SMU researchers to initiate conversations with geneticists at the Globe Institute and University of Copenhagen, Department of Genetics and University of Cambridge. Alder has worked with the Pecurious Pueblo Pablo community for over 30 years due to his ongoing research into Pueblo ancestry in northern New Mexico. So this article talks and discuss all of that. There's even a video there. I'm not going to go too far on it. It's just the mere fact that they're using DNA to stake claim, right, for their sacred sites is rewriting the record books because they can use it for other things. Now I'm going to come back. That was this article is from April 30th, 2025. So I'm going to stay in 2025 and I'm going to give you article that everybody should have already read. But as scientists use DNA to trace early humans' footsteps from Asia to South America. Now remember, they have a debate, and that's why I didn't want to get too far. But you know what? I'm gonna come back to this because this is on the other side of the argument. I'm just gonna stay with the sources that I had right there. So let me stop sharing. Let me reshare. Let me see what Ross said. He said a bunch. Black people culturally appropriate Native Americans. That is a fact. We know Native American and American Indians are the same people. It's the Wabos that are muddying the waters. Yes, but we have to, we have to define, right? We have to define who people are. So when stuff is being spoke about, right, it will have properly been defined and given us an opportunity to fully understand that these people couldn't be these people because of, the scenarios of others. But here we go. So they had the coin flip, and we got to listen to Dulce and this dude, Anton. Round one
All
fight.
righty then. We are here.
Hey,
We
John,
are
you can call
official.
heads or
Hold up.
tails.
There
I'm
we
not
go.
good at that. You call it.
Call it in the air.
Okay, I'm gonna say tails.
Tails. Heads.
All right, Dulcie can start it off.
Ladies first. All right, 12-minute rounds. You get a 3-minute introduction, making all the continuous rounds 15 minutes continuously. All right. Are y'all ready to rock out?
Sounds
Whenever you get your screen going and whenever you're ready to start speaking, it's ready for you to rock out.
All right. Okay, my screen's up. Okay, ready. So we're talking about did the American Indians participate in the U.S. government before 1924? So of course we have to know what American Indian is, and there's no way around it. It's the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, not including the Yupik or Inuit people, but it's especially the indigenous person of North America and U.S. And the Amerindian is people who belong or come from the native people.
Man, y'all couldn't hear nothing I'm saying because I put my shit on mute. That's why I was looking at the chat. So yeah, look at these fools. What I basically was saying was, I'm gonna leave my mic open. Basically, what I was saying was, Dulcie has to properly define American Indian, right? And then make her argument. In defining American Indian, she has now put herself against the definition. Why? Because we've seen her genetic ancestry, meaning we have the biological evidence to conclude that Dulcie is not indigenous to the Americas, so she does not fit the American Indian definition. Neither does Anton, neither does Bap or Calvin Denzel Roberts. None of those people that are on the panel or in the chat talking back and forth are these people. And if they say that they are these people, they have to have genetic evidence, genetic ancestry to prove that, because it is a biological question that requires genetic evidence. We already properly defined what an American Indian is. It is a Native American. They use the word Native in the definition. She chose not to use a certain definition for a reason. But then she brings up Ameri Indian. Let's see how she flips it and what comes of it in her earlier destination. So I'm gonna start it back. Boom.
Okay, my screen's up. Okay, ready. So we're talking about, did the American Indians participate in the U.S. government before 1924? So of course we have to know what American Indian is, and there's no way around it. It's the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, not including the Yupik or Inuit people, but it's especially the indigenous person of North America and U.S. And the Amerindian is people who belong or come from the native peoples of America. Government can be defined as the body, entity invested in power to manage a political unit.
Pause. Her next source, Cornell Law. Y'all just showed me use Cornell Law to define what an Indian is, what an American Indian is, or a Native American Indian is. However, she avoided using them as a source to properly define who an American Indian is. You know why? Because I showed y'all on the screen. It's going to go synonymous. It ain't going to go the way that she wants to. So she negated to do that, to use Cornell to properly define what a government is.
Organization, most often the state. So we're going to be talking about participation today, the fact that you are a part or become involved in something, but there's two forms of participation that I'm going to be talking about mostly: civic participation, voluntary activities of citizens in forming and sustaining independent non-governmental organizations, and political participation that pertains to activities of individuals or groups influencing public policy. So what is a citizen? It's just the inhabitant of a city or town. It's coming from Anglo-French in the 1300s, a city dweller, town dweller, or citizen. Coming from city, that's Old French, which is just town, city again, and it refers to citizenship as a membership in the community or community of the state, citizens, or commonwealth. And now it's known as a large, important town, something of a grandiose title. We're also going to go over company, which is a large group of people, a society of friendship, a bread fellow. So that's coming from compagnia, which is coming from Latin, cum panis, with bread. We even say that we break bread with each other. So that's those bound together for trade, sharing risks, or profit.
Your ass don't say no damn company. You ain't never used that word a day in your life. That's a Latin word. You don't speak no Latin. And if you saying break bread, okay, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? But you don't speak that. You putting yourself up against the wall.
So the story starts with Virginia Company. It's a joint stock company chartered by King James I to establish a colony in North America. They're setting up democracy and governments and reforming the financial model, and its abundant resource is supposed to be the land. So I'm starting here in the archives, the statutes at large and the laws of Virginia, and we're starting off with that first charter. We have King James here talking to his proprietors, Sir Thomas Gates, Sir George Somers. We have Hakluyt, etc. William Barker as well. And he says, of the diverse others and loving subjects, he said, we vouchsafe unto them our license to make habitation a part of America, commonly called Virginia. So why do you use license? Well, let's define it. A license is a formal authorization, an official permission. It's to be allowed or to be lawful or get the permission from an authority. So he's already saying that this is not his authority that it's going on. It's an authority that he's getting from someone else. So we're going to move on through this charter. We see him presenting to the proprietors that they're going to be able to nominate and assign the lands, the resources, and run the precincts as they see fit. Also, the proprietors will be the treasurer and the company, a major part of it, as well as the other people. They say they'll have a common seal. They'll be able to distribute, convey, and assign any particular portions of the land, anything of the resources passed down. And it says, of our loving subjects, the naturally born, the denizens, or others. So who are all these people of the said company? We'll continue on as far.
Dulcie is debating if American Indians participated in the U.S. before 1924. Why are two black people debating about American Indians participation in the United States before 1924 when American Indians had a whole movement called the Red Power Movement, which was against the status quo, the government? I'm confused as in, and then on top of that, I'm still trying to figure out how she claiming to be, and she used a screenshot from BAP show, because look, BAP right there and BAP right there. But anyway, let's go. That's what Dulcie talking about. Dulcie talking about she trying to act like she an American Indian. What up, Nat? Man, listen. When she defined who American Indians was, the debate was over because it ain't her. She has to provide evidence of her being an American Indian. She found slaves in her records after arguing that she was never a slave. So she found slaves in her records, and we seen her genetic ancestry. It completely takes her up out of this American Indian position. But I'm gonna let him go though.
As far as some other policies that he projects, he says that the colonies are able to enjoy the gold as they say please. For him and his heirs and his successors, he asked for a 5th part of all the gold and silver and a 15th part of the copper, without any manner of profit or account to be given to them, to him and his successors, the royal bloodlines, any further. He says for them to lawfully make coin for the colonies so they can have ease in bargaining and trafficking amongst who? Themselves and the natives there. So it's already expected that the Indians will be in these colonies too, as well as them running.
Pause. We are source. She makes a great point. Y'all, she makes a great point, y'all. I want y'all to listen to her. She making a great point. She making such a great point that she changes the word natives to Indians. This point in this source is so great for the debate that she changed the name natives to Indians. Keenan was good. What up, though, Willie? Steve Bully. Infinite Minds. I see you, Fit Ballard. Okay, change the name over there. Staying fit. Listen, I'm going to let her read it again, and then I'm going to let her show you how synonymous American Indian and Native Americans are. That these white people are specifically talking about a group of people that is neither one of these Negroes that are debating.
Of the copper, without any manner of profit or account to be given to them to him and his successors, the royal bloodlines, any further. He says for them to lawfully make coin for the colonies so they can have ease in bargaining and trafficking amongst who? Themselves and the natives there. So it's
pause. Come on, Dulcie. Drop that fact on them, Dulcie. Go on and make yourself look bad, Dulcie. Come on, man. Y'all gotta see the humor in this shit. How are you in the middle of a debate, arguing with another motherfucker in the middle of the debate about the identity, where after you are trying to define who American Indians are, and then you turn around and you use the word native? The source says, and they shall or lawfully may establish and cause to be made a coin to pass current there between the people of those several colonies, for the more ease of traffic and bargaining between and amongst them and the natives there, of such metal and in such manner and in form as they said, several councils there shall limit and appoint. What in the holy hell is we doing right now? Discussing Native American business on a non-Native American platform amongst a whole mother freaking chat full of people who have demonized Native Americans and called them Siberians and told them to go back to Asia, that they are all these other ad hominem names that they love to use for Native Americans, Mongoloids, all of that type shit. See what I'm saying? Like, these people are literally up here having a whole debate over some non-black business. I ain't saying that she looking good in the debate. She debunking herself, and I'm appreciating it. Kick that knowledge, Dulcie.
Of the copper, without any manner of profit or account to be given to them to him and his successors, the royal bloodlines, any further. He says for them to lawfully make coin for the colonies so they can have ease in bargaining and trafficking amongst who? Themselves and the natives there. So it's already expected that the Indians will be in these colonies too, as well as them running.
Bruh. Come on, y'all. She didn't define who the American Indians are. She didn't read a source that's talking about them same people defined. And then here she is, she gonna take the word natives out after reading it and interject Indians.
Can have ease in bargaining and trafficking amongst who? themselves and the natives there. So it's already expected that the Indians will be in these colonies too, as well as them running the councils. So when he goes on to talk about this trafficking in ships that they will have with the vessels of goods, it says when you are under the dominion of King James, you will be charged 2.5 upon every 100 when you are to traffic, buy, or sell across the colonies. But being a stranger, you and not subject to King James, you will be charged 5 upon every 100. So strangers are.
By the way, if y'all looking to see what she just said is on the screen, it is not on the screen. She reading from something else, right? We don't see what she talking about on the screen. King James' name ain't nowhere over here. Nowhere over here. But she just ended the debate before the debate even began for the both of them. They shouldn't have never debated this topic. Yes, she is trying to separate American Indians from Native Americans. She is saying that the American Indians are the black people that are in the Americas, while arguing that the Native Americans are the Mongoloid from Siberia. Not knowing that American Indian and Native American are synonymous with one another, as it is defined by law, as it is supported by genetic ancestry. Keenan is correct. They definitely on the fly with this shit. So she's in the middle of a debate discussing some shit that Kevin Troy and Thomas Oklahoma could have had a conversation about amongst the two of them. Kevin Troy and Thomas Oklahoma could have literally had this conversation amongst themselves or debate amongst themselves because they are the people that the sources are referring to. Not her black ass and not his black ass. See what I'm saying? So we looking at this unbiasedly from the perspective of having all the answers to the test before the teacher hands out the test. That's how we roll. Right? We got the syllabus. We got the ABO syllabus. So any avenue that they proceed to take, we already know the route they running. So whoever throwing the ball to whoever ABO on that side, we gonna pick it and take it to the house. And then in the words of Lucky, we're gonna have a whole new sector of ABOs in the transfer portal. Turtle Gang, what's good, bruh? What's good with you? Absolutely, it's a silly ass debate. Why the hell they talking about American Indians and Native Americans participating in the United States government until 1924? Pointless. But let's listen to those say F it up.
Able to participate in this commerce. They're able to traffic, buy, and sell. And it also says they're able to enjoy wholly the employed use been the people that are going to join into this company. Well, some of the names are William Bennett, who's a fishmonger, James Haywood, that's a merchant, William Gibbs. We have a grocer, John Ellis. We have Clement Kimberly, James Campbell. All these names and last names should sound very familiar, like Ezekiel Smith, Richard Johnson, William Johnson. They say that these companies are going to come together as grocers, fishmongers,
By the way, that is not me. That is her internet.
Settlers, venters, and so on and so forth, and they'll come, all the people coming together. Just perhaps they have a lot of American Indian names. So when we go into Plymouth in the beginning of the archives, this is going to be coming from a journey as far as the English plantation for Plymouth, and they're going into the habitation of the Indians. It says they're met by an Indian that presented himself to be a savage, but he saluted them in English, and they assumed that it was some kind of broken English that they learned from the Englishmen. He said he would introduce.
Pause. He didn't elude any fucking thing. That's not what the word says. He presented himself a savage, which caused an alarm. He very boldly came all alone and along the houses straight to the rendezvous, where we intercepted him, not suffering him to go in as undoubtedly he would, out of his boldness. He saluted us in English, not eluded. Remember, during those times, Dulcie, when they were writing in the way that they were writing, that shit that you're calling an F is actually an S. And that's why it is saluted us in English. You see how they have and looks like an F right here in front of the H? It's the same letter. You just make it S's. We know this, right? And bad us will come. So let me go back, because your English is just as fucked up as this a native dude they discussing.
To be a savage, but he saluted them in English, and they assumed that it was some kind of broken English that they learned from the Englishmen. He said he would introduce them to the Sagamores and Lores, and they discoursed about the whole country and Providence and all the Sagamores that existed there. So he was able to introduce them to the chief sachem, which King James gave his blessing, and the governor desired to set up a truce with him. When it came to the great sachem that was looking around in the messengers.
Pause. Yo, not a coincidence is in the chat. Didn't this group of people that we're listening to and on the panel and that are members of this coalition of stupidity, right? Because this is what she was reading at first, y'all, because they go King James' name up there. But anyway, didn't they say that English was an indigenous language? Not a coincidence. Come on now, my bro. I know you driving home or you almost finna go home because, you know what I mean? I know your quitting time is 3 p.m. Oh, yeah, you're an hour ahead, so you in traffic right now. And I know you ain't take the E-way. So, you know what I'm saying? Didn't these people say that English was an indigenous language? But on her last source, right? Hold on, let me put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen because we've been arguing with these dudes for such a long time. Let me put it on the screen. Boom. Fact, Sean, English is indigenous. So, if English is indigenous, why was they so alarmed at this dude saluting them in English? Why would they be so surprised? If English is an indigenous language, why would they be so caught off guard by this ninja engine? Trying to watch my language somewhat. Why would they be so surprised at the fact that this guy spoke to them in English? They called it a broken English. he was speaking some broken English amongst the English men. Yet English is an indigenous language to the Aboriginal community. And the English was shocked that he could speak some English. So how the hell is it indigenous? Come on, man. I wish I had I wish I had Boosie, the Boosie the little logo right there. Come on, man. I'll play that right now. They tripping. Flag on the fucking play. I told y'all that this is once you start, when they start having to use sources, all the shit that they argued about and for prior to this begins to crumble amongst the foundation is now built on bullshit. Who gonna correct this? So is Calvin Denzel Roberts gonna correct this? Is Top Bottom Kittens gonna correct this? Or is the retarded one going to correct this? Or the research lie, is he gonna correct this? Or Fraudaway, Dane Fraudaway, is he gonna correct this? Because somebody on that side has to come back and clean this up, because she used the source that just told us that the dude spoke some English when it should have been an indigenous language that he knew from the gate. And to add to that, he spoke broken English, some broken English, which means that he wasn't even fluent in English, so it couldn't be indigenous to the Americas, which would mean that he from somewhere else then, eh? Huh? Is that what we gonna say, that he from somewhere else? But you just said y'all American Indians. I'm confused. Go ahead, Dawson. Drive that point home, sweetie. Go ahead with your chocolate self.
All the sagamores that existed there. So he was able to introduce them to the chief sachem, which King James gave his blessing, and the governor decided the desire to set up a truce with him. When it came to the great sachem that was looking around in the messengers, it said,
pause. So King James saluted buddy. So King James, remember y'all, listen. King James saluted him with the words of love and peace. He did accept of him as a friend. So, you mean to tell me that A1 then sit here and did a whole debate and said King James was black? His sources that he used says King James was black. The Hebrew Israelites argue that King James is black, and here we are with a native man meeting King James, and he says, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And can barely speak with this motherfucker because he can speak a little English. And he was a savage. That kills the whole argument right there when it comes down to your foundation. Again, this debate is crippling all y'all old points that y'all argue were not a coincidence and YK the truth for years. And Lucky, y'all are over there doing this debate, and the whole time it is killing y'all because it just proved that English isn't indigenous to Americas, which was one of y'all points. That the dude that was speaking, he was speaking broken English, and he was a savage. Which means if they're calling him a savage, that means that he can't be who you think he is. Which means that you Negroes ain't who he referring to. There's discrepancies here that can be used to counter argue against your own self because you don't cross-reference and you can't keep your lie straight. Your lie now is misconstrued. Now, A1 just got beat up because he said King James was black. AP on the same type of time. Both of them say King James black. They blacked everything and told us that English was an indigenous language. So we still catching them in all their lies. Go ahead, chocolate dropper. Speak that knowledge.
As he used the intimidation tactic as going as far as the people to see what they stood for. So he saw a messenger that was in all his armor and
Pause. I just looked in the chat. Right. Dulcie is also claiming indigenous black European ancestry. How could she claim indigenous black ancestry when the mother freakers can't speak English? They can't speak English, bro. When someone is speaking a broken language to someone else who is fluent in that language, that means that you're trying to learn that shit, bro. When I was talking to Juju the other day in the chat, Juju said that she was learning Wolof. So she was spitting out some Wolof words. But someone who is fluent in Wolof would say that she's speaking broken Wolof if she was pronunciating those words to me in the middle of a conversation to show me what she's learning while she's over there. Because they wouldn't be fluent. She wouldn't be fluent in Wolof. So as I was stating here, right? The G is up.
His sword, and he said, I will buy everything off you right now. So of course that messenger didn't go with it. He said he would keep his stuff, but it just shows he was showing him that I'm the more superior. He then went on to leave his brother, and also it says he left 6 or 7 hostages to be their messengers back and forth. And then they were taking him into the building as far as so they could do more discussions in the commerce.
So if King James black, why he letting Buddy bring black people up there and consider them to be hostages and interpreters and shit like that, right? This is what I mean when we get into the actual historical, when they got to provide a source and we get into the historical account, everything that they told y'all before now becomes what we've been saying, pseudo. They have now became pseudo. The lies on display, the fake history, the fake language, the fake all that. It's fake. The whole movement fake. She dismantling, remember now, this is a debate about the participation of American Indians in the United States government in 1924. She ain't even got to that part of it. She's just talking about some shit beforehand. And then here we is, and she dismantling every lie, APA1, Callaway, research guy, Mike TV, and so on and on and on. All them pseudos. She dismantling the lie.
So what's a hostage? Is that a slave? No, it says a hostage is coming from the word hospitality, host. It's kindness or a resident of or a larger.
Hey, let me, now she reading from etymology, right? So how many of y'all are considered hostages? And it be seen as hospitable, residence, dwelling, rent, tribute, compensation guarantee, pledge bill. Like, what are we discussing right now? That we don't fully understand what a hostage is? That you're trying to say a hostage is kind and hospitable resident dwelling? What in the flying fuckery is this? This is what I mean. The word has evolved from the 13th century into a whole nother meaning that is also fitting inside. But you went to this instead of going to properly define what a hostage is, and now you're at the etymology, and now, right, the rent's due, mother sucker.
Held for the landlord as security. So if they're not participating, Why are they leaving these hostages, or better said, grantors, as far as to go do business back and forth? So I wanted to break down a proprietor as well. As you can see, a proprietor is one that possesses or holds the title to something, a property or owner, or the owner of the colony. A proprietor is the owner by royal grant of an American colony. The sagamore is the chief, the king chief, the sachem as well, the chief of a Native American tribe used in Narragansett, Algonquian chief ruler, Delaware, the Kima, the Micmac, the Kumu, and the Paxcot, the Sagamo is where we're getting the sagamore. So
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, perfect.
Read that again, Dawson. Read that again for the people in the chat. Listen to her kill herself.
Better said, grantors, as far as to go do business back and forth. So I wanted to break down a proprietor as well. As you can see, a proprietor is one that possesses or holds the title to something, a property or owner, or the owner of the colony. A proprietor is the owner by royal grant of an American colony. The sagamore is the chief, the king chief, the sachem as well, the chief of a Native.
No. Read the motherfucker. A sagamore, king or chief among some Native American tribes. So, is a sagamore an American Indian or a Native American? Y'all got to start charging these people for using these sources. Is a sagamore an American Indian or a Native American? Remember, they claim to be American Indian, but yet she uses another word that puts her at odds. And it says a sagamore is a chief among some Native American tribes. And then a sachem is a chief of a Native American tribe. So again, she's using words that do not say American Indian, which means there is no split. So these Native Americans that she is talking about are the Mongoloids that they said came from Siberia, and they are not indigenous to the Americas. But the whole time she is properly defining who the Native Americans are in history. Native American and American Indian are synonymous with one another. They are one and the same. And this is how we know their black asses on that platform in this debate are not the people being discussed in the debate topic. That's why defining things are such a big deal when you're arguing with ignorance. Go ahead, Dawson. Go ahead with your black ass.
The sagamore is the chief, the king chief, the sachem as well, the chief of a Native American tribe used in Narragansett, Algonquian chief ruler, Delaware, the Kima, the Micmac, the Kumu, and the Paxcot, the Sagamo is where we're getting the sagamore. So
your ass don't know none of them. Y'all don't know none of them. You have not separated in this argument Native Americans from American Indians. You have actually proven that Native Americans are the American Indians. And that's why I'm so confused as to why y'all on Calvin Denzel Roberts' platform arguing about some Native American business.
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, perfect. So to understand what's going on, we have to understand what an Aboriginal title is that they're working with. They're having these principal subjects.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell no. To the no. I am not letting her get away with this. Hell to the no. I'm not letting her do it. Because she got 15 minutes, so 10 minutes in her debate. All she said was American Indian at the beginning, and then she started saying Native Americans the rest of the way. Now, she finna come and talk about Aboriginal title status in the 13 colonies. And guess what it's gonna say? Guess what it's gonna say? Let her read it.
Subjects of their legislation, saying it's codifying their prohibition of private purchase.
That's her internet. That ain't me. Y'all hear me good? That ain't even my computer messing up. I ain't even playing. She literally is fucking this whole shit up. She is unraveling the entire Aboriginal movement in this debate. Watch.
Remain a topic of discussion throughout the whole forming of the United States into the Intercourse Acts. And why was it amazing?
No, Dulcie. Dulcie, you skipped over something. I understand your internet was fucking up. So let's read it for Dulcie since she couldn't read it. Aboriginal title statuses in the 13 colonies were one of the principal subjects of legislation by the colonial assemblies in the 13 colonies. With the exception of Delaware, every colony codified a general prohibition of private purchases of Native American lands without the consent of the government. Who had the lands? Who were the landowners? Who were the Aboriginals? The Native Americans had the land.
These principal subjects of their legislation, saying it's codifying their prohibition of private purchase. Remain a topic of discussion throughout the whole forming of the United States into the Intercourse Acts. And why is it a major subject? Because the Indians are the real proprietors. They're the ones that have the ownership to the land.
No, they don't. They don't. How they got ownership to the land when you just had this slide up? Dulcie, why are you playing with us? With us? Why are you playing with us? We just read Aboriginal title status in the 13 colonies were one of the principal subjects of legislation by the colonial assemblies in the 13 colonies, with the exception of Delaware. Every colony codified a general prohibition on private purchases of Native American lands without the consent of the government.
And why is it a major subject? Because the Indians are the real proprietors. They're the ones that have.
No, they ain't. Because they was buying the goddamn land without the fucking consent from the government. They didn't give a damn about the Native Americans. They said Native Americans. And all you're doing is confirming that you don't know Native American business. I don't even think you comprehend what you got going on because you have a bias and you're trying to argue your point because you know you can articulate yourself, and the dude that is you're going up against is slow. But what you're doing again is, like I've been saying, you are in this debate unraveling the whole Aboriginal argument. So let's hear you out.
Have the ownership to the land, not King James. He only has a license to habitat the land. So when we look at the actual deeds going in these regions of Narragansett, Massachusetts, New York, East Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Ma'am, where do you think ma'am, where do you think the deeds are coming from? Who's writing the deeds? It ain't the Indians. The Indians aren't writing the deeds. The Indians being ran away from the fucking land. And then the people going behind there and staking claim to this shit. So you can't be serious in saying what you're about to say. I'm gonna let you say it.
They're all saying in satisfaction to our Indian proprietors, in satisfaction to our Indian.
Lady. I don't think you understand what it is that you're arguing. Yeah, you got this source here, but what you're failing to realize is in the prior screenshot that you had on the slide, it told you what they thought about the Native Americans. These people were here to establish their colonies, which means that they were going to go against any formulated government to push peoples off the land so they could own the rights to the land. And in some instances, broker deal with Native Americans for goods and services just to get the land away from them, because the Native Americans didn't claim the land for themselves at all. That's not a part of their culture. One more time, the Indians saw the world as an open space. It wasn't designated for that group of peoples that was in those regions at that time. They were like the Africans. It was just open space. It wasn't owned by. Monmouth patents shut her entire claim down 1655. Damn.
Indian sachems into the Indian right. So does a monarch participate in his monarchy? Okay, we're going into the Indian deed that is coming out of Massachusetts Historical Society. They use Massasoit here, which is another word for sachem. It says that he gives them the right to title, interest in a part of the land or any parcel with all the profits and benefits. He acknowledged Captain Richard Morris is justly and freely entitled to the land, but he also said he's set to remove any pretended claims to the land. We also have the deed of Boston when we have Charles Josias, which that's a very interesting name, and the Massachusetts Indians to the inhabitants of Boston, giving them a deed and relinquishing any.
Why is Charles Josiah's name an interesting name? Why come you didn't elaborate on that? We want to know. You're highlighting these things, but you're staying away from these things because if someone reads them with you, you're going to get caught up.
claim to the Boston or Deer Island part of the Boston Harbor for a valuable sum of money. When we get into them setting up the colony here in Massachusetts Bay, we have the Freedmen Oath that they're making. And they're not making an oath to keep foreign society. They're taking their oath to the governor, to the deputy governor, to the assistants, to the commonality that they're working with, because they're setting off as far as this colony to work together as one. So here, to understand what's really going on, we have to go into the past of the laws of England, where even Black laws comes from. So here we have William.
Why we got to go to England to get laws for people in America? Remember, y'all supposed to be indigenous to the Americas, that y'all are these Aboriginal people. How the fuck is England writing laws for y'all? Y'all always been here, but now all of a sudden someone else is writing your laws? This says, chapter the 10th, of the people, whether aliens, denizens, or natives.
In Blackstone, that is going to be the forefront of all these colonial laws. He said of people, whether aliens, denizens, that word again, or natives, the first and most obvious division of people is into aliens and natural born subjects. Natural born subjects are the one born within the dominion of the Crown of England, while aliens are such that are born out of it. For the use of their system, every owner of the land is subject to the superior or lord, and the ancestors' tenant vessel received them in mutual trust. So it goes on to say that the landlord itself may be the superior lord, or they may own.
Time out. Time out. I thought y'all were indigenous to the Americas and these were your lands and y'all built the colonies and y'all had these civilizations before these white people ever came over here. That's what y'all told us. Y'all argue with us every day. Y'all said that y'all got some of the oldest architecture in the world, and that y'all were building civilizations way before the white man came. And then here it is. We talking about land and y'all ain't got shit. You getting ran out of your spot because these white people are taking the land and they're doing it against y'all's will. And they buying motherfucking shit out of from up under y'all, and they ain't even telling the government how they doing it. And the reason they ain't telling the government how they doing it, because if you listen to Honey Clark debate, when she was debating another motherfucker in a similar situation about something totally different, you see how it all come together? If y'all go watch the last review that I did with Honey Clark's debate as it pertains to information that was divvied down there, she kind of already broke it down and told y'all about the colonists and how they were already operating on their own merit without no essential government in the 1600s. This is what she told y'all. If you paid attention to it, she was basically saying that they was operating not as one entity, but as 13 separate entities. That's what that debate was about. So now, if you understood that debate, and then you're listening to Dosey over here with her spill drill, right? You start to see where there is some ignorance being pushed over here as it pertains to what they're debating about and why you got to know history. You got to know history. Because Honey Clark allowed us to immediately catch this play. Remember, she just showed us sources, right? Well, she just showed us a screenshot prior to that talked about what they were doing. She just showed us screenshots, showing us like, hey, we finna get this land. We ain't letting the government know shit. We just finna take it from these people. And they did that throughout the colonies. So I'm just trying to figure out how y'all American Indians and how y'all let these boys just jack y'all up out y'all shit. And you ain't did nothing about it. And then let the truth be told. You didn't unravel a whole nother argument by the retarded one, because he argued with not a coincidence and all these other people that it was black people that ran the 13 colonies. There were kings. They were the kings of the colonies. Remember, old boy is black. King James black. Then there's these kings that was in the 13 colonies, they black, and the whole colonies was ran by the black people. So why the fuck is black people pushing out other black people? I'm confused. Not a coincidence. Where you at, bro? Please tell me if I'm lying. Did the boy, man, I'm gonna have to pull up a whole nother video to show y'all where a boy argue that there was these black kings in the colonies, that they established the colonies, that they did all this, not no white folk or none of that crazy shit. They established the colonies. So why they running their own people off? Why they buying up the land and stuff? See, then what I'm saying, when you start letting them just go, and then you start remembering their other arguments and claims that they made, they'll catch themselves up. This debate is telling, because this debate between these two stupid mofos is literally disbanding and dismantling the entire arguments of people that they portray to be some highly educated mofos on their side of the argument. There go Eric in the chat. I know I can get a witness. I know I can get a witness. I mean, like, for real, on some real educated stuff, like I'm putting it all together. Right? I don't need nobody else. Nobody else to say nothing. We gonna listen to Dulcie, and then we gonna listen to what AP and them always kept. Don't make me go back and pull it up. Them boys kept telling us that King James was black, that the 13 colonies was established by black people. Remember, I brought up the author of the book. I forget his name off the top of my head right quick, but that dude in his book was saying the same shit that the retarded one was regurgitating. And then here she comes, happy-go-lucky, the abo articulate, and disbands all the shit that retarded one was trying to edify people on. Even though we all knew it was pseudo, he still was trying to do it, and she just debunking it. But she's going to say that she is not doing such a thing unless there is a Aboriginal holy war. Sean, they really from Peru. They came up north to build the mounds and cop some product off the Moors. Then the white Ramon crazy. He said, "You're right, because OTK always saying that the Goose Creek man was black. It was more than just Phoenix. They all lying. Dose is debunking all of them. All the shit that they've told us over the past few years, Dulcie is disbanding all of that and trying to argue for her point in an argument that ain't got nothing to do with her or black people. It's that simple. And I'm saying, if you're listening to this and then you're listening to their claims and then you revisit their claims, you will see what's, like, dang, Sean, right. They sure was saying that stupid ass shit. We had a whole dude around here telling us that King James was black, that they established the 13 colonies. It was all owned and ran by black people. And he was saying that shit loud and proud. I got the clip somewhere on one of these videos. I got it because I pulled up his whole his teacher.
Only be attended or vessel, because the absolute superior is one that is not a vessel to anyone. Sounds like they have the Aboriginal title. The tenants swore faith to bear faith to his sovereign Lord in opposition to all men. So then it goes.
Let's try to find what she just said, because I wasn't even looking at the screen. I'm listening to her. And I'm thinking about all the shit that these dudes have never said before. Where's the word Aboriginal? Transition. Aliens also may trade as freely as other people. Who are the aliens? Only they subject to certain higher duties. The custom house, and there are also some obsolete statues of Henry the Eighth, prohibiting alien artifacts to work for themselves or not. It's not artifacts. It's art accessories or something. Blah blah blah. General held that they virtually repeal statues. Also, an alien may bring an action concerning personal property and may make a will and dispose of his personal estate, not as in France, yada, yada, yada. So where is the word Aboriginal in this? It doesn't say that anywhere.
Is not a vessel to anyone. Sounds like they have the Aboriginal title. The tenants swore faith to bear faith to his sovereign Lord in opposition to all men. So then it goes even further to talk about what happens if you're an alien in this society. An alien may acquire a property.
All right, real quick. So she was up here at the top, and none of the shit she said in between that and this had anything to do with anything. So we're missing information that she's filling in right there. Started from Taj, Tariq Bay, and Sabir. Don't forget, United States is a corporation. They got me good with that one.
Other personal estate. This indulgence to strangers is necessary for the advancement of trade. The aliens may trade freely as any other people. And they said how it would have to make some other laws obsolete. Because what alien would come here with their personal property and say that they have to give up their personal estate in death and they're not entitled to it? No, an alien would have to be entitled to all their property for them to stay in community and friendship with the colony. So now we have a courthouse of Lancaster on the 22nd day of June in 1744. It looks like we have some delegates coming together as far as for an assembly. It's sounding very political. We have the Honorable George Thompson. We have the Honorable Thomas Lee, and so on and so forth. Richard Peters, Thomas Colwell. It says here we're starting with...
Hey, none of these people black. Ain't none of these people she name are black. But let's hear what you gotta say.
Actual Indians making a speech in which they say that they are willing to set up a covenant chain, one body, one soul, and a chain of friendship with the governor as well as the other Indians. But there's been a lot of disputes about the land and who possessed them, which are formerly belonged to them. So they said, first we have to settle this matter and then we can move on to having friendship. In response, the governor said he heartily recommended a union to preserve the strict friendships to one another. Both you as well as we will become stronger. Our wise forefathers established union and amity between 5 nations, and this has been giving us a great weight and authority.
Wow.
Man. She had 15 minutes and I probably spent about an hour on her ass. She was doing such a great job disbanding the Aboriginal myth. She done fucked AP whole shit up. You gotta give it to her. She had a hell of a round right there. YK the Truth, you should be very pleased. Give it up for Dulcie. Hear her let ass go. I'm talking about what debate is this. It was a debate with Anton. The title of the debate, Did American Indians Participate in the United States government in 1924? What she just did in 15 minutes was literally a detriment to the whole Albo shit, and they don't even know it. She did debunk their lies, their myths, mysticisms. She did all that shit. We ain't even have to go over there, be in the chat or say nothing. We didn't even have to say nothing. Speaking of, YK the Truth got a debate coming up. It's gonna be on his channel. He's gonna stream it live for us with TikToker. Y'all already seen Port City be dude up. The natural whatever his name is. Natural whoever he is. Chief Natural. Whatever what they call him. Y'all be on TikTok. Y'all know what the hell his name is. Before we get to Anton, you know what I'm saying? Before we get to Anton, we gotta deal with the deal. What's good? It's your brother YK the Truth. And family, I have a debate coming up. I'm trying to say it how he would say it. Hold on, let me get this in. Earth speaks. What's good? It's your brother YK the Truth. And I have a debate coming up on April 18th against Chief Naturalists. Were black people in America before Columbus. I will be going live and the debate will be free of charge. Peace. Mark your calendars. He ain't give nobody no time. Rail from the phone said, who is Chief Naturalist? Chief Naturalist. Bro, crazy in the mug. We need to ask YK. Hold on 1 second. What's my email? We got to do it. Hold on. I can't let y'all see what I'm saying. All right. So we don't have a time, but I'm about to hit him up too and ask him. Tell me I ain't give y'all a good YK the Truth rundown. Hold on. What's good? It's your brother YK the Truth and family. I have a debate coming up April 18th against Chief Naturalist. Were black people in America before Columbus? I will be going live and the debate will be free of charge. Peace, family. Well, Chief Natural, he called him Chief Naturalist. Naturalist. YK ain't shit. YK ain't shit. Anyway, we finna get back to this good. We finna get back to this good. We finna get back to this good tangling debate over here. Everybody get up for Dosey for debunking APA1, the research lie, Chief Holiday, Top Cats. Dang, she did it all in this first round of her debate, not even knowing it. Let's go. Thomas Trippett.
Shout out to Dosey and their fire round. Shout out to Dosey. A-Ton, you dropped off. We're waiting on A-Ton to come back on the panel. While we wait on him, shout out to Dosey. We're going to reset this time to get it back at the 15-minute marker. Shout out to Dosey. Solid round, straight to the point, not fucking around, y'all. Shout out to Dosey. Brother A-Ton, it's on you, brother. Brother A-Ton, it's on you. Can you hear me? You might have to unmute yourself whenever you get a chance to make sure we can hear you clear. Whenever you get a chance, get around them.
Yeah, I'm ready. I just wanted to get my.
All right, we got Brother A-Ton in the building. All right, whenever you start speaking, go ahead and cook, brother.
All right, so before we get started, am I rebutting first or I'm just doing my intro? Which one is it?
You got the full 12-minute round and your 3-minute rebuttal. You can choose the rebuttal or you can just add it to your round. But what I'm going to do is just let you go straight into it. I'm not going to stop you, so I'm just going to add it on regardless.
Let me pause it real quick. So this dude, A-Ton, I just realized when he came up on here, A-Ton has been tagging the Mossy Warrior clan to all his bullshit content that he trying to get views for. So this is going to be a pretty interesting because I ain't never seen him present anything, but he have been tagging the Mossy, and we ignoring the hell out of that crazy ass shit that he kicking. So let's see if he does what she did and define who an American Indian is, and then proceed to build off that, or if he ignores all of that and he gets right into his argument because he don't know how to articulate himself or use a correct research methodology to answer the research question in this debate or this foolery that they got going on.
Okay.
All right, for sure. Well, let's just get started. Let me get started with what I'm going to do anyway. So here we go.
Yeah, get started.
Let's get in.
Add your rebuttal in too. So go ahead, you cook.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so we're going to get off like this. This is what we got right here. Did the Indians participate in the United States? Let's get into some intro.
Can't stay away. I'm ready to rock. I can do it for the money. I'd rather do it for the fans. Break out my old cats. I'm here to understand. See, I don't stop practice. So how can I try and renegotiate? If the studies get what? your
Man, this dude that came up here playing all this music ish and then messed his whole laptop up.
Let's keep going.
tell him anything because the past has disappeared and his father has no power in the world. This means, in the case of an American Negro, born in that glittering republic, and in the moment you are born, since you don't know any better, every stick and stone, every face is white, and since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7.
Going on, Shy?
To discover the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper.
Let me pause real quick because we got unbiased Ron in the chat, pseudo ass. You see what it say? Aboriginal FBA Indians. That's what this is. They debating some dumb shit, just like you sit over there and do a whole show on retarded ass shit that you ain't got no evidence for. Now you running around here trying to act like DNA ain't real. They told us. They told me you over there trying to talk about DNA now. You over there trying to refute DNA. How you going to refute your own genetic ancestry, you stupid fool? Because you don't want nobody to know that you got that white man and that islander in there and that you was a motherfucking tether. That is the only reason that you're going against DNA right now, because DNA proves that you're not an African American. You're an actual tether with your grifting ass. You do claim that shit. You do claim that shit. You don't talk about no motherfucking limitations. Ain't no limitations in proving your ethnicity. Ain't no limitations in that. You ain't black on both sides. You was a goddamn lying ass fool. You was a tether. You got a parent that wasn't even born in the United States, bro. Why is you lying to people? You was a fucking tether. You ain't real FBA. Because ain't no real FBA.
That the Indians were you. It comes as
You see, and right there, everybody is laughing. They're grinning and laughing. They know who we are, but we don't. We say we are something, but we can't explain it. And we still using these same talking points as a part of that narrative. Now, what I'm going to present this event is that not only did the indigenous nations of North America did not participate in the United States, the indigenous nations of North America were systematically through the courts and acts to execute plenary powers, and we'll get into what that means, to erase the parity, we'll get into what that means, of the indigenous nations. I will use multiple sources and various angles to properly show how advanced the indigenous American nations were and why it was an impossibility for those nations or those people to participate in the United States.
for example.
Now I'm gonna get past this one. Now here you go. Here's the eastern side of North America. Right? This is the eastern side of North America. You see it from the top to the bottom. Now here's a bigger map of what you see right here. This right here is what you consider be where these 13 colonies was. And here are the 13 colonies on both sides. This is 1775. Now, the Law of Nations right here is a book that all the nations and sovereigns pretty much hold in they cubby. This pretty much talks about the conduct and affairs of nations and sovereigns. These two on the left and the right is the Treaty of New York. George Washington will get into it. So my core claim, before the United States existed as a sovereign nation, the Continental Congress and the 13 United Colonies operated within indigenous, diplomatic, commercial, and territorial systems. They were participants and supplicants, not superiors. Indigenous nations, especially large confederacies, retained sovereignty, controlled land, trade routes, and treated the Congress as one more foreign council seeking alliance, permission, and legitimacy. This is not ideology. This is how the 18th century world actually worked. Now, here's your definition of American. Everybody looked at it. Those that haven't, here it is. Pertaining to America and as a noun.
Pause. So here we go. Dulcie came out and she defined who an American Indian was. This fool, he comes out and says everything that he just said, and now he's defining who is an American. This is the confusion amongst them all as they are staking claim to things that are relevant. Remember, Dulcie does not approve of such the term as it provides an opportunity for Europeans, white people in the Americas to also be American. This is all the person's fault on the channel that they're debating this topic on. They are about to single-handedly, in this debate, in their first rounds, dismember every claim ever made about their existence in the Americas. Watch.
Initially referring to indigenous copper-colored races. Okay? Now, here we go. In the United States of America.
Hey, you left off something very significant in that definition, because the definition is who the Europeans first saw when they got here, and they didn't see black people. And there is no such race called a copper-colored race. Hold on, let me just say this real quick. Ron, we seen your DNA years ago. We saw your DNA years ago. Why do you keep trying to bring up DNA to us when we seen your DNA and we know that you're a biracial mutt? We know what you are. We know that you're a tether. We know one of your parents is full of something and you don't want to admit it. It's okay. It's okay, but you're running around here and you taking shots at the diaspora and people outside of America who participated in building this motherfucker just as much as anyone else has, and you try to throw shade on them with your whole FBA grifting shit that you're doing with Tyreek. That's another subject matter for a different day. Right now, I'm talking about your FBA abo friends, your cousins, all y'all tellers.
The word of signifies a union or possession. Now, this definition is from the National Constitution Center and Collins Dictionary. This is what they're saying. Connecting the collective entity, the United States, to the continent, America, emphasizing that it's a nation formed from and belonging to the landmass. A unifying term for sovereign states, But let's go back. United States, that collective entity. The continent, America, emphasizing it's a nation formed from and belonging to the landmass. So the United States is on the...
Time out. Hold on. In the United States of America, the word of signifies a union of possession, connecting a collective entity to the continent of America. Okay, wait a minute. So does the United States have jurisdiction over the continent of America? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have jurisdiction anywhere else. The United States of America is a country within a continent. So how are you connecting connecting the collective entity? And that's what you're arguing here. I don't know if I would even use this in this debate, because when you start doing this landmass and sovereign shit and all of that, has nothing to do with you, because there's no copper color races. There's no designated. When white people start designating color to classes, there was no copper color race ever mentioned. It was the white man, the black man, and the red man. And it continued to be the black man, the white man, and the red man. And there's earlier censuses, there's slave censuses, and all this other shit that they have for documentation purposes and insurance claims prove that. But go ahead, Aton, or however the fuck you say your name, bro.
So the United States has been created on this land and it belongs to America. And as I just show you who the definition of American is, those are the copper-colored indigenous people.
No, you can't use that definition and then try to supersede it and then filibuster its meaning on the entire continent, because that definition does not define people in Central or South America. That American definition does not define that. What it's basically telling us is who they saw when they first arrived. And they said, these are the people that we saw, and they didn't see your black ass. They didn't see Dulcie chocolate ass, and they damn sure didn't see AP or anybody that looked like Calvin Denzel Roberts, AP, or that, none of that. Us light-skinned people ain't even who you trying to. We can't even claim copper, bro. How the fuck? We don't even yo, y'all niggas is tripping. Let me just let it play.
Now, in expressing movement with result that someone or something becomes enclosed or surrounded by something else. Now, when I showed you those maps of the indigenous nations at that time, and then you see the 13 colonies in those same areas, who's surrounding them? Who are they enclosed by? Those people. And if you know that actually that the United States of America by definition is belonging to America, then it belongs to the Americans as well. Now, here's the technical meaning of participating in. A participant is a human subject who gives informed consent to be part of a study. Now, I'm pretty sure at that time, with the indigenous people and the definitions I read to you, were not the human subjects and was not to be studied. I think it was the other way around. I'm pretty sure it was. Technically, participant is often preferred over subject. So if you're a participant, then you are a subject. And no way you're going to tell me indigenous people here were subjects when these people were still getting their foot in the door and trying to set those things up during that time.
First of all, you're not the indigenous peoples. And everybody who was participating either willingly or forcibly. Remember, they had motherfucking the indigenous peoples that they walked into the Americas and saw, and they put their asses to work digging up gold and all of that. But here's the problem with your argument is we don't know where you are on the continent of America making this argument. We don't know if you're in Central America. We don't even know if you're in South America. We don't even know if you're in Canada. We don't even know if you're in the United States, because you have yet to stake claim to the colonies and then grow from there. So your timeline historically is imbalanced because we don't know where you are. We don't know if you're in 1492 or 1638. We ain't got no clue. We ain't seen the date. We don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. This ain't even our debate. We just here for laughs, shits, and giggles. Because y'all are disbanding your whole entire movement. What Dulcie is, you over here being more pseudo than she is. And that's hard to do.
So let's go to the next one. So 4, and that 4 is very, forgets about that title that was during that time. The word for acts as a preposition indicating purpose or benefit, meaning the union of the United States is established in order to create or to serve the interests of the larger nation, America. So now we go down the line. Now we see that America, the United States of America, that definition, and all the necessary things is actually these colleges were set up for America, not the other way around. So participation could not have been by the indigenous nations or their people. You cannot serve two masters. Now, here's a Treaty of New York, right? This is some secret articles. Now, this is how I'm just going to read this first paragraph because this is how you know you got a piece and you got a treaty. Because she mentioned these things up in here, right?
Who the fuck said you can't serve? This ain't no religion. What are you talking about? Serve two masters. Who's staking claim on that, bro? What are you talking about? We're talking about reality. We ain't talking about no fictitious bullshit. But go ahead with this treaty. Look at this treaty, y'all. It's specific. It's got names on it. This is what I mean by these people don't know how to argue. Why? Because they don't know who they are, but they are going to proclaim to be a group of people that they can't stake claim in or provide identity for or evidence of that identity, period.
Right? And I'm going to attack those in a minute. But whereas it says, to all whom these presents shall come, greeting. Whereas the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States of America and the Creek Nations of Indians made and concluded on the 7th day of the present month of August. If it doesn't start like that, it's not a treaty. Now, the first article says specifically this: the commerce necessary for the Creek Nation shall be carried on through the ports and by the citizens of the United States. So commerce necessary for the Creek Nation by the citizens of the United States. This is.
So are you a Creek? Are you a Creek? One more time. Are you arguing to be a Creek? Because you brought this up as a treaty to argue. So are you a Creek?
By the citizens of the United States. This is what George Washington is telling the Creek chiefs. This is what we're going to do in order for you guys to sign off on this treaty. This was a proposal. This is considered a proposal that George Washington was making to these Creek nations and to the chiefs. We're going to use.
How the fuck does it go from a treaty to a proposal? It's a treaty. Maybe I'm slow. But what is a treaty? What's a treaty? Somebody got to tell it to me. Give me a basic definition. Shredder. What is a treaty, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody help me out. Treaties are binding agreements between nations that become part of international law. Treaties, which the United States is a party. Hold up. Let me give simpler terms. A treaty is a formal written agreement or contract between two or more sovereign nations acting as a binding pact under international law. These documents settle important issues such as peace, trade, alliances, or environmental protection, and are legally enforceable on the nations that sign and ratify them. What are we doing? We don't know what a treaty is? You just brought the name of two treaties. Really one. But you're dealing with it.
Our citizens to conduct commerce necessary for the benefit of the Creek Nation.
What have I asked?
Now, here is the three chiefs right here, and here's where they come from. You got the Upper Creeks, Lower Creeks.
5 minutes and 30 seconds. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Cook.
And Seminoles, right? So everybody talking about the Seminoles was.
Okay, so again, are you professing to be a Creek? Are you professing to be a Creek? Are you a Creek freeman or are you a Creek Indian? And what relevance of your Creekhood has to do with the title of the debate as far as what's going on with that? This is what I mean by these reference points in this debate is dismantling and dismembering things because both of them are trying to argue some shit that ain't got no relevance with black people. Ain't got no relevance. I mean, we was not coming in here creeks when the 13 colonies was established. We ain't got nothing to do with participation in no motherfucking government. In that early period of the Americas when the 13 colonies was established, we don't even really get to participate in that shit until the 1800s, after the Revolutionary War. Even still, states are existing. Unions are formed. Jim Crow on the way.
It's created in the Civil War and all this and runaway slaves. Nope. Here they go right here. Now, political reality before 1776, and I'm going to go ahead and speed up a little bit. Right before independence, the British Crown claimed authority over colonies, but Britain did not claim sovereignty over indigenous nations. And actually, Dulcie actually admitted that in these ancient charters when she said, under the Great Seal of England, introduced the chiefs, king gave blessing. Okay, so she actually admitted it. So indigenous polities were treated as foreign nations. This is explicit in royal proclamations, treaty language, trade regulation, diplomatic protocol. Indigenous nations as empires, not tribes. Let's be clear about scale and structure. The Haudenosaunee, the 5-6 nations, had multi-nation confederacy, central council, codified constitutional law, continental scale diplomacy, France, Britain, Dutch colonies, controlled major trade corridor alliances. They did not ask the Continental Congress what to do. They deliberated whether Congress was worth engaging. The Southeastern Confederacies, Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw. Okay, they had a Creek Confederacy. Confederated towns with council, independent foreign policy, control over deerskin trade, Gulf and interior trade routes, Spanish, British, and American access. They played empires against each other. Colonies to Continental Congress. When rebellion began, the colonies lost empirical backing and became weaker, not stronger in Indian country. The rebellion was not about...
Hey, none of this shit got nothing to do with us. Neither one of these motherfuckers have a general idea of what it is that they're arguing. He on a whole nother level. They having two separate debates amongst them. If y'all ain't been able to identify that already, I'm just telling y'all already. They are having two different debates in the middle of one debate that has no agency over our black asses here in the Americas. Zero. Oh shit, Pure Black is in here. All hell about to break loose. This dude is arguing about Creek nations and treaties, and this I'm gonna call her a woman. This lady is over here talking about a whole nother conversation about colonies, the building up of those colonies, and things that have transpired up into a degree and a point. It's two different debates. And ain't none of that got nothing to do with us because we are not American Indians. You say he been listening. He have been listening liar. You would have been spoke. Yes, this is exactly what they're doing. They are teaching Native American history because they are claiming to be American Indians, and dude saying, I'm not an American Indian, I'm a Creek. That's what he, based on his argument, he went right on in and wanted to be Creek. So we don't know if he a Creek freedman. We don't know nothing.
freedom in the abstract. It was about control over money, land, and political decision-making. After Britain tightened imperial oversight, following costly wars, especially in North America. They lost British empirical backing, military protection, treaty authority, and trade guarantees in Indian country oversight. From the perspective of the indigenous nations, the colonies were no longer a recognized power. They were insurgents. So, look it up.
Who the hell would write that? Where did you get that from? From the perspective of indigenous nations, the colonies were no longer a recognized power. They were insurgents. Where did you get that from? Because if you're all over the place in your timeline, bro. You just went to some shit that was in like the 1800s, and then you came right back down to the 1600s. Then you went up into like the 1700s. Like, your methodology is so fucking flawed that we can't follow along to see if you answering the research question for the debate topic, let alone we don't even know what the hell you doing. Just overall, because we ain't got a source. We got a nigga on a panel saying some shit that we're confused about, and then he turning around and saying that the indigenous nations colonies were no longer a recognized power. So why the fuck did the indigenous nations not take that shit back if they saw the colonies as not a recognized power? So that means at some particular point that the indigenous nations saw them as a recognized power, to no longer see them as a recognized power. Who is he talking about? Because I'm live right now, and if he wanted to talk about it, he would have spoke. Look out of here.
I ain't got time to break everything down. Now let's get over to the other things. So when the Continental Congress emerges, 1774, 1775, it does not inherit sovereignty. It must earn recognition based on what I just read. The Continental Congress didn't inherit sovereignty. It emerged because the colonies had lost it. It was created as a coordinated body to manage war, diplomacy, and survival after imperial authority collapsed. Now you could go look at the Royal Proclamation of 1763, issued by King George III. Right, so I'm gonna get forward a little bit on this. We get past the Indian departments. Let's just go over this fact that we got these treaties that deals with the Congress seeking recognition. Treaty of Fort Pitt. Give me the 2-minute warning when you do Bat. Give me the 2-minute warning. Treaty of Fort Pitt. Treaty negotiations with the Haudenosaunee. Treaty negotiations with Creek and Cherokee. In these treaties, Congress promises protection, trade, boundaries, and recognition.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. 2 minutes and 10.
Got you. Indigenous neutrality as supreme power. One of the most misunderstood facts, indigenous nations did not choose sides because they were subordinate. They chose sides because they were sovereign. Neutrality was often the strongest position. Haudenosaunee stayed neutral, colonies struggled to move west. Creek stayed neutral, southern colonies were boxed in. Let me go forward. Okay. Let me go forward.
Why? Why is she going forward?
Long protocol. Congress follow indigenous rules. This is subtle but decisive. You got the Wampum Council protocols consistent.
With the rim that she bought, then she needed to take that rim back.
Decisions. Okay. Here's the belt. That's the Wampum.
Bro, you said, hold up, time out. This ain't making sense for none of us. Indigenous neutrality as supreme power, one of the most understood facts. Indigenous nations did not choose sides because they were subordinate. They choose sides because they were sovereign. That don't even make sense. Neutrality was often strongest position, for example, yada, 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 yada. Let me go ahead. I think it's the next slide.
Subordinate. They chose sides because they were sovereign. Neutrality was often the strongest position. Haudenosaunee stayed neutral. Colonies struggled to move west. Creek stayed neutral. Southern colonies were boxed in. Let me go forward. Okay. Let me go forward.
I would have never did this.
Okay, so law and protocol. Congress follow indigenous rules. This is subtle but decisive.
All right, here you go. Yeah, you said this crazy ass shit. Congress followed indigenous rules. What rules did the indigenous have? Because y'all are not indigenous. So what rules did the indigenous have? They had no rules. Remember, y'all some free spirit motherfuckers. How the fuck y'all got rules? Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all very ignorant to the white man. Disease and weaponry fucked y'all over. So how, right? So how y'all creating rules? You can't even communicate with the white man. Remember, English is not, Dulcie already established in her first round that English is not an indigenous language. And so for the shit that was being learned by the people who was communicating with these white people, it was broken English in parts. And some people couldn't even speak it because they were shocked by some people, about a person who could be able to speak it. So how the hell they gonna understand y'all indigenous rules? He definitely is all over the place because he went to the creek, now the Wampanoag. Now we got all kind of weird shit. We ain't got no historical timeline. I ain't seen a date yet. The motherfucker brought up a treaty. And we at the 2-minute warning. And they ain't rushing. Forgetting he still got a whole nother shit. And he I just told y'all. We heard 2 different arguments in this first round. It is very easy to figure out the ignorance on both sides of this argument based on the research question and then information that is being presented. They are both wrong, and neither one of them is more right than the other. It is a debate about dumb shit that ain't got nothing to do with them. And neither one of them answered the question in the first round if the if the American Indians participated in the government before 1924. Because it is unclear of who the American Indians are, because neither one of them are American Indians.
You got the Wampum Council Protocols, Consensus Decisions. Okay, here's the belt. That's the Wampum belt right there. I bring that through. Bottom line, indigenous nations were sovereign empires. The Continental Congress was a weak diplomatic body. The colonies participated in indigenous systems. Congress was subject to indigenous land control. And this
that whole ass internet fucking up too. So he said, bottom line, indigenous nations were sovereign empires. Guess who operated in their sovereignty? The 13 colonies. Go watch Honey Clark's presentation. She gave you the information and showed you how they operated as their own entities. They didn't rely on the government unless it was on a certain degree, on a federal level. If they could intervene into the colony's business like that. Like, these are the things that we know. So when you start saying certain things in this nature, we're already ahead of you because we just got a whole lecture from a sister on the establishment of the colonies and the participation in the government and the effects that it had on the peoples. So why the fuck is you over here claiming to be indigenous? He should have shown who holds those belts right there. Nah, he can't show who own those belts, because if he show who own those belts, they don't look like his big headed ass or her black ass. And the indigenous people didn't have kinky hair. Sorry. Not sorry.
Business trade law, nudity is not original as we know it today, as the narrative goes. That thing is in my, let me hide this. Constructive, late, and enforce. So all this stuff that you're talking about, what she's going to be talking about now, was all constructed, late, and enforced. Now let me end off with that.
And he playing
You
his
got
own music.
41 seconds. You want to digress to your next round. Shout out to A-Ton. Shout out to...
All right, I'm stopping right there because I can't do a round two of neither one of these goofies. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I was gonna come up here and give y'all some more scientific shit proving who these American Indians are, which are the Native Americans and their genetic trail, but it don't even make no sense for me to do that to y'all no more. After listening to that shit, it's crazy. It's crazy. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. What I could do though. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah, y'all see what the fuck going on around here, man? Y'all see what the fuck going on around here, man? Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Y'all see what's going on around here, huh? Slowly but surely. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm finna put them haters to shame. I gotta go through 400. I gotta go through 400 hints. In my ancestry. I got like a shitload of hints that I gotta go through. I ain't mean to bring it up. Just so people don't think that I'm capping. 446 hints that I gotta go through. 446 because confirming and adding and knowing. First of all, I started my tree off by putting 100 and something people on there that I knew directly. And what's bad is I ain't even added none of my great uncle's children, because he got 15 kids, my grandmama's brother on my daddy's side. And then some of them kids, they got kids. That's gonna probably take me to about 50 or 60 people. And then I got my daddy's I got his sister's people walk down. I got some of my other uncles walk down, but I ain't got my other uncle. I'm still working on shit, just to be real, and building that. But I know when everybody doing their tree, they just be trying to go north. But nah, I had built my tree right because I started getting a lot more hints and a lot more hints and a lot more information, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of these people are coming from many different places. You know what I'm saying? They coming from a lot of different places. And it is what it is over there. So when people say they doing their ancestry right, and I check against this shit. So I consult with my family members and other relatives, cousins, and stuff like that. When I get there, I just don't add shit. Or I ain't got nobody going on here adding, trying to make motherfuckers something that they ain't. I ain't doing none of that. Cause you ain't got the authority on my shit. Like you ain't doing none of that. Like I know who my people is. My great grandmama right here. Her parents right here. My great granddaddy right here. His parents right here. You know what I'm saying? My grandmama's husband, one of them, because she been married twice. My daddy's daddy, his people right here, and I'm finna walk them right on to the right on. And it's a lot of stuff going on right here. One of the most significant is learning about some of these people, where they coming from and how they got shit going on. But that's it. That's all this right here is my daddy's side. I've been slowly doing it, and then I take breaks because my head be fucked up. Then you're gonna find the white people over here. You're gonna find white people on my daddy's side too. But you see how I just opened that shit up? My granddaddy, brothers and sisters and shit, I still gotta add all of these people. And I knew these people because I was just a little kid. This my granddaddy right here. These is his brothers and sisters. And they got some, never mind, I don't want to mention it. But when I get into my aunt Mary Tom, when I get into her, she got some motherfucking children. She kept her legs open. I ain't even gonna cap. Her and her husband, boy, they was dropping loads. And then her grandkids got kids. It's a whole lot of them motherfuckers. But nah. So, you know what I'm saying? This is my great grandmama right here. She mixed. Her daddy, my grandmama's daddy, he mixed. His mama white, who my grandmama named after, right here. You already know that's a nigga. Right here. Right here. I got help with him from somebody in Kentucky that I reached out to have some records to be able to help assist, because my grandmother had married this dude named Green, last name Green, in Kentucky, and they had some records which helped me get her parents right here. And I still got some stuff to go through and to add right here. But yeah, he was a mulatto, but they got him on his census record and shit showing his color. But she white, he black. She was a card shark, so she was around niggas hustling. I think she I can't remember. I don't feel like clicking on that shit and going through there. But now I gotta go through all these records and type my shit up all the way. But and then when I do that, it's gonna take me a little while. I ain't in no real hurry, 'cause I still gotta add a lot of my cousins and shit. Look at that. It's a long journey. Three journeys. Let's look at journeys, y'all. What they talking about over there? Oh, okay, y'all already know my first name, bro. I ain't tripping on none of that. I need to see. It's supposed to be Kansas. Yeah. It's even a portion of Kansas where one of my relatives is on one side. I mean, I really haven't even got to Louisiana, but she was born in Mississippi. Y'all seen her? I just showed y'all her. She was born in Mississippi, but some kind of weird ass way, she gets to Tennessee. And she gets to Tennessee and marry my great granddaddy, and she ends up in Brentwood. So she comes from Mississippi and ends up in Brentwood, Tennessee. Yeah. Oh yeah, let me do this real quick. So yeah. I'm messing with y'all, bro. I ain't got into this part of that shit because I don't even be caring. But I know y'all might want to see like the ethnic breakdown type shit. Told you, the white people start showing up, bro. Which is consistent with my 23andMe too. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't playing. So yeah, man, I like it because I don't like it for the DNA. I don't like ancestry for the DNA. I like ancestry for what it is. You know what I mean? The genealogical part of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Let me yeah, I gotta do something for y'all real quick. So let me get back to my damn how I get back to my tree. I don't ever be on my laptop. That's how you know I always do this shit from my phone. Let me go do this. Let me drop these people off. Yeah. Let's get over here. Let's get over here. Look at that man name right there. That's a crazy name. Anyway, y'all see that dude name right there? Before I was rudely interrupted. I'm working on this dude. There's a picture. Hold up and show y'all. I ain't added it. There's something about this dude because the slave owner got the same name, but it's something about this dude that is. You see, this person right here. That's my cousin. We've been talking about it, and we trying to get down to it because it's something about him that we need to get into. So this person right here. Let me zoom in. This is my great granddaddy right here. At 13, he was a slave. He was owned by William Phillips. He was sold to the Grahams. Right? So I just ain't added it because, like I said, I'm just doing certain stuff to confirm before I just be adding certain stuff. Although I know what I know about him. Hold on, let me see if I got that other picture. Let me see. Let me go to gallery. Did I even put that picture on here? Or did I take it off? What the fuck did I do? So yeah, I know I found him in the Grahams. I added it, but it's in my gallery. But I found a picture of him, not that picture. I found another picture of him in the Graham's book telling his story about all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of working on the work. Just working on the work. Cause this dude shit gets crazy. It's like 15 children from this dude, 3 different wives. One of his last wives ends up in Kentucky. Another one in North Alabama, and another one stayed in Tennessee. And he'd had kids by all of them. And I'm thinking some of the women that he had kids with, that's the scary part. Because I think they confuse him with his slave on and some of this shit. That's why you gotta be careful. But nah, man. You know me. I get to it. Y'all seen that Everett dude? That dude named Everett? That's my great granddaddy right here. E.D. Phillips. Pinewood, which is Hickman County, where you can find them at. Well, I'm under Jenny. Look at Jenny. Look at Jenny. Them kids right there. Yeah. I'm on that Not a Coincidence. Did you find any what? Hell no, I ain't find no motherfucking indigenous, hell no. I ain't found no abo yet. Ain't no but niggas in this tree and a few crackers. So, there go Jenny name right there. I think she died of heart attack or some shit. There go to William Phillips, widowed, and then it got colored or white, of course, listed as colored female, 87 years old. So yeah, I just need to kind of buckle down on him so I can get to it. And the reason I haven't added Harriet yet because there's 2 Harriet Williams. One Harriet Williams is a white woman, and then there's another one that is not a white woman. And I need to iron that out because I've looked at these records, right? And let me just pull up something, see. This one says a black woman. And that's why I didn't do that. But now watch this. Let me see. If the other one say white. No, that's the black. And then there's a I just gotta comb through this shit, man. It's tedious work. Very tedious. See, this got Jenny name on it, but I don't think this one did. Let me see. 1870. My great-great-grandparents are from Tennessee on my father's mom's side. Yeah. It ain't no work that you can't really get through. You feel me? See? I mean, you got a lot of help when you find certain things because when you find one of your relatives, you'll find the other one. And you'll find them on like census records. And then there's a slave document that you'll find. See, Richard Williams right there. And it say Richard Williams is in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? But I just seen something that's unique. Inferred children, inferred spouse. It's kind of crazy. I don't even like that. But see, they got this person right here, Richard, as a mulatto. So Richard Williams is a mulatto. His wife, she black. So Richard's parents is a white man. Well, I think his daddy is got the same name. I know you're Williams though. Let me see. Inferred children, but it don't say parents. Related sources. So now I gotta go digging into this shit so I can find out what I need to find out. And remember, I was just looking at I started looking at Jenny's shit. And that take you there. So it's a lot of confusion the further back you go, because them white people get to pick and choose who they, you know what I mean? They just having sex with all your people, man. And you don't even be knowing, man. You know what I'm saying? This woman show up as black, with her son Richard being a mulatto. So that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking, dude, smash, man. She was a housekeeper too. So you know the slave owner was tapping that ass, man. You know he was. Look at him. He was tapping that ass. Motherfucker. Let's see. Who was she married to? Who was she married to? Spouse. Abner Parker. So it wasn't apparent in Alabama when they get married. Marriage day 1889. Who else on that bit? Who else on that bit? There they go right there. Abner Parker, Lewis Holt, Harry Williams. Abner Parker, Harry Williams, blah, 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 blah. Somebody else on here, I think. It's the only way you be able to find them is using all them other records that you can't even really think of. You really got to use the census shit. Do I got Abner Parker on here? Oh, la 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 la. Right that tree. That's why. Cause I was looking at Jenny, so I stopped and I got an idea. I got two ideas. See how Henrietta Phillips come up and Harriet Williams come up? Watch this shit. This get murky. And remember this, my great granddaddy, he 50 times black. But this ain't the right woman. This ain't the right woman. But I'm also thinking that when he was younger, because like I said, he got his freedom when he was 13. But when he was younger, I'm thinking that these people just absorbed him as a child. Because inferred just means what it means. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking that they just observed him as a child. Because he was so young and he was a slave. Royal ancestor. What the fuck that mean? U.S. Sons of the American Revolution member application. 1850 federal census. So yeah, you got to do all this shit. And then my boy, not a coincidence, said he was gonna help me do some shit, and he is yet to extend his shit because he been out the game. He just be showing up in people's chats from time to time, and I'm saying he don't really fuck with me no more. You know what I'm saying? Mary Phillips, female, William, 10, Virginia, 10. Yeah, these white people right here. That's why I ain't be looking. But then they have another record that'll be the same name, but it'll be a black person. So I gotta be careful. Because, excuse me, when I get to a Nazi, which is, West African, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, who got that Nazi in their name? When I get to Billy, his parents, I don't think that they're gonna have his parents' name on it like that. Because he was a slave. So now I'm gonna have to I gotta go and let me see. I gotta search slave census. I'm gonna have to do some work on the slave census in order to figure out what's going on with him. But even still, I don't think that I'm gonna find his parents because they just really gonna have this other name. They don't have this other name, man. But this dude got children everywhere. This dude was spreading his royal oats. For real. This is grave site. This him right here. This is grave site. Cause this is my great granddaddy. And there go his wife. They got him on there. You gotta be careful. And see Jenny, yeah, be careful, cause this lady, she ended up in Kentucky. Federal 1860 census. And this one right here, I think, shows as a white person. I don't know. So I got some digging to do. And I gotta try to go and see if I can pull up some records that'll make me be able to confirm more. Cause once I unlock that shit, and then I got on my great grandmama's parents, one of her parents. I can show y'all that shit. I don't see this the difference between us and the Abos. Like they act like they can't show us this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all a big fucking secret. Like they don't want us finding their people because they think that we gonna do some extra shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we gonna do some extra shit, of course. We gonna prove your ass lying. See this dude right here. This my great granddaddy. I mean my great great granddaddy. My great grandmama's daddy. He was a reverend too. Just the one that was buried over there in the African American graveyard. And I of course found them, add up them records, show my granny name. Now my granny, they got her name spelled all kind of Eula May, Eula. Then they got the Eula spell fucked up. You know what I mean? So it's like real crazy. But this dude, I gotta find this dude, his shit. And one way I'm gonna be able to do that because his last name is Frierson, which is my granny's maiden name. But Voorhees, Frierson and Voorhees. So there's some information there that I gotta get to. And this is wife, my granny's mama. You see how her mother, Mary Ormez, who was from Mississippi, this is her. And then they name become Hunt. So I still just gotta work through some stuff right here. And then I'll be able to find more stuff on her, but I'm just trying to get stuff on my great granddaddy. You know, this ain't her. There's a white man that's gonna show up over here on this side too. On my daddy's side. My auntie already told me. The people who we got the land from, it's gonna be kind of crazy. He gonna show up. And then you gonna see what they wanna see. They wanna see Africa on some shit. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you Africa for sure. Definitely gonna give you Africa. Yeah. My mom and my daddy. Watch this. This how much 6 my grandparents was having. Kablook. Look at all them uncles and aunts pull up right there. Look at them uncles and aunts pull up. Them mothers was getting it in. My granddaddy Lucian. My grandmama had 2 kids, but my granddaddy, look at them. Bloop, bloop, bloop. 3 other kids. And my uncle Michael Brown, he got a different mama. So he got he got kids from all over the place. That was a play. But that ain't nothing though. My Uncle Michael, shit, my Uncle Michael got kids everywhere. Yeah, he got kids everywhere. Yeah, I don't want this smoke. So I gotta go put his kids on here. His kids. I think my auntie died. I think she might have had 2 kids. But my mama named after her. I got one of Charles' kids on here, but he got more. And then, like I said, Mary Tom, boy, it's a lot of them jokers. A lot. But this is the funniest part, is this right here. I don't even care. Let me zoom in. Look at that woman. Card sharp. Look like my damn granddaughter. She gonna look like her ass with some color. Damn shame. Let me show y'all this. It's funny. Life story. I think I need to upgrade something too on this shit so I can get the best shit out of my tree. Let me go back to facts. Let me see where that record at. There you go, right there. Look at this dude, man. And see, this is why I think I gotta fix her name too. Cause even though I found her, I think she also went by Beulah R. Cause Beulah Royce is her name, but I think she got married to somebody named Smith. And I need to confirm his next of kin, which would be his mama. See? See there? And now I gotta go back and edit her name and see if I get more hints on her on this name right here, because it's related to Beulah R. Smith. So she got married. But she was giving up that tutti frutti to the black man. Complexion light brown, hair black, eyes brown. You know what I'm saying? Birthplace, Richmond, Virginia. So before anything, you know what I'm saying? Big up Virginia. Big up Virginia. Big up Virginia. Look, before anything, this dude, his daddy had to be in Virginia. And to probably keep him alive, she probably fled to Kentucky. Or she just needed to provide a better way of life. I'm sitting here putting more spin on it than anything. But this lets you know right here, I gotta go to Virginia because of this. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta start looking for shit. It's gonna take me back to that. See? Beulah R. Smith, and R is for Royce. So I do this shit live though. I don't care nothing about what y'all got going on, man. Let me go back to my tree. See, we don't do that, Sister Betty over here. We don't do none of that shit that the elbow's doing. We deal with that real spiel. Let me go over here. Let me click on her ass. Let me go to profile. Got some ugly ass. Yeah. I don't know why it took me out of here. Let me check the hint first. See, this show up. And I know that ain't her, because as soon as I go to that, it shows some weird shit. So let me for the ones I accepted. See, here she go right here. Yeah, there we go right there. So let me I need to get her damn birthday. I got work to do. So y'all just seen me change her name. Now, as soon as I change her name, look what happened. A new hint. Same one though. But I'm gonna end up with some more hints. Watch. I'm gonna end up with some more hints because her son. I'm about to chase her down in fucking Virginia. Some people in my family, they didn't know his name, my grandmama and daddy name, because he left. He left my great grandmama, and then she remarried a whole another dude, and that marriage didn't last long per my cousin. She got rid of that nigga. What up, Yai? What you doing over there, bro? I guarantee you, I'm gonna leave this mug alone, and my kid's mama, y'all see her down there. don't have none, bro. I keep it a buck. There's so many people on this tree. Now you see why I got all this. Look, I still got to go through all these people hints. And every time, the one that got plenty of kids, my great aunt, boy, she gonna have me doing everything. Look, there she go. There she go right there. That's her. I go and accept it live right here. That's her. And then my cousin Tree gonna pull up. Yeah, I want all that. It's all the way. I want to leave the barb on there though. See, marriage to James Felton Barber. That's why I leave the barb on there. Okay. This my other cousin. They did that. Here go a headstone. My other cousin, Lisa, saved to the tree. I ain't seen that lady in so long. I was a baby. Saved to the tree. The census, she definitely on the census. This her ass, East Tennessee. She went where her husband was at. There she go in the middle. Why they got showing their name is Philip? It's Philip's fool. Yep. That's her right there, wife. Block, Tennessee. Why everybody occupation say like farmer? Like everybody want no motherfucking farmer, bro. And then her name spelled wrong on the census. And that's the enumerator fault. That's what I mean by that. Like, see, look at her name. Even though that's her, the birthday match, everything match up on there, her name spelled wrong because of the enumerator. And that's the other problem that I have is when you go in here and you dealing with all of these facts, like the enumerators be fucking shit up. James Egbert Barber. It's him. That's her husband. And see how they got Felton Barber? And then they got right here in this record, James Egbert. But then you gotta go match the birthdays up and all that other shit. So I ain't even adding it right now. They got my granddaddy name right here. I can go confirm that. One or the other. Yep. But that's not the father though. That's the mama, but his name is spelt wrong because it's E.D. Phillips. Everett is his first name. But then once again, there it go, the enumerators. The enumerators was just getting shit in and then just moving on. I seen that shit before I even scrolled in. 12th Avenue South. That's my granddaddy, my great granddaddy. That's where we from. South side. The South. There you go. His son lived with him too. He was 15 at the time. 47, she was 46. Yep. Even though the name wrong on here, it's them. Look at that. More hints. All this not a coincidence fault, bro. Because I would have been through with this shit a long time ago, man. But he didn't want to help a brother. He didn't want to help a brother out. He didn't tell me if I got to go pay the extra $10 to go get the the won't won't won't. You know what I'm saying? He ain't none of that. Look at that. Mary Tom Johnson, Barber City. What? Panitha. Spell her name wrong. Monty Panitha was a thug. But nah, man, that's what that's how you do this shit. James Felton Barber, Mississippi. Pat. Yep. Yeah, motherfucker, that's right. So found his parents. But I ain't really too tripping much on, well, it matters to my cousins. It don't matter to me, but it matters to my cousins. So I'll go get their people. Yeah, I'll go get their peoples. You know what I'm saying? Deal with it like it. Let's see what my auntie got. She got my mama name. Yep, there go her mama. There go her daddy. This is your granddaddy. That's why I got all these records to go through. Cause I knew my people names and where they born or died. As soon as I put where they died at, shit, I started getting hella hints. Look at them. Look at William show up. Father. And got his name on here wrong. Got her name spelled wrong. I have to check that. I ain't going with that. I need to call my mama and ask her that auntie moved to it said Bowling Green. Yeah, Bowling Green. I mean, call my uncle. My granddaddy. Their mama. And his name spelled wrong. Oh, no. No, I ain't gonna do it live. See? There go my granddaddy again. See, they got his name in here different, though. You know what I'm saying? But that's him. Because it was either Everett or ED. I'm gonna be doing this shit forever. Reviewing and clicking and saving. But man, listen, I ain't gonna keep y'all up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna slide up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Not a coincidence, I ain't fucking with your boy. So it is what it is. But nah, I appreciate everybody tapping in, man. Make sure you like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we live. You know what I mean? I got to a little bit of the genealogy and all of that on that end. Show a little bit of that DNA there. You know, it is what it is, man. We don't run from nothing. Y'all see how far I got in that tree, though. I'm up there with the fourth grandparents on some of them. I'm going to get even further. I just got to limit them damn hints. Going through 400 ain't no thing. Then on my uncle, my great uncle on my daddy's side, when I started putting his kids on there, it's a whole nother problem. Cause his shit gonna be forever. Hell yeah, it's gonna be forever. Where's that little feature at to show the tree overview? Let me see if I could, before I let them see if I can do the tree overview. Let me see. Fan. Here you go right here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And the elbow scared to put their shit on the screen, bro. The elbow scared to put their shit on the screen. They scared. This show you how much work I've done on my tree. From me to my parents, to my grandparents, to my great-grandparents, to my great-great-grandparents, and then there's an option to fan out to, fifth, let's go 7. See how far I go. And some of them I can get all the way out there. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a problem for y'all. It's going to be a problem for a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a problem for some of y'all. Because I'm getting there. I'm going to get these two. I'm gonna get my grandma, my great grandmama. I'm gonna get her people. Then I'm gonna get them people. And then I'm gonna fan that bitch all the way out to about almost 7. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to consistently the 5th, 6th, where I am in history. I need to get to between the 5th and 6th. Well, if I can get all of these names right here, you know what I mean, I can throw Africans at y'all when I get these names. A lot of these people, though, just going to be like Tennessee, other places, a lot of the early slavery and all of that shit. A lot of them ain't born like early 1800s, but then the name, that's why I was telling not a coincidence, because on one of these motherfuckers, man, the names, they ain't showing, man. They ain't fucking with me. They ain't showing on them census, like the slave census records. I'm having more trouble on my grandmama's side, which I thought would be easier than on my mama's side than on my daddy's side. But my daddy's shit, man, it seemed like I know that shit more than I thought I did. Cause it was real easy to start putting pieces together. The only issue is that just my granny's father is one of the issues. Is it? I can iron him out. Then I can get into a lot of this other stuff. People going to Indiana on this side right here, boy, them motherfuckers jumped to Indiana, Kansas, Ohio, and all that. Hashtag no elbow, it's a fact. He said he fell asleep. Boy, Max said he done fell asleep. I wouldn't have admitted that though. But one of them names right there to just F y'all all the way up though, is that name right there. When you see the Anansi in it, that's telling. But a lot of Negroes, blacks in this motherfucker, man, and I ain't found an abo yet. I ain't found nobody that was a Indian in this tree. I know we got the good hair and the light skin from the white woman and the white men. Ain't no featherheads. No featherheads. They scared to do this. They will not show us this. They be lying their asses off. I can go search though. Net. Hold on. What's that lady name? What's Smoke Signal, the slave owner? What was her name? I'm in the wrong search. Let me go up here. Lucy Hawkins. Nah, none of my shit. I'm not looking at my shit. Oh, Lucy. Fuck with Smoke signal one time. Yeah, Smoke. Don't run, Smoke. It was 1950. We don't get to that business, Smoke. Yeah, you see it. I just want to just beat you up one day. Go digging. I get the Lucy Hawkins, nigga. Don't play no games. But nah, man, I'm gonna let y'all have y'all day, man. It's Tuesday. I'm gonna be at work the rest of the week, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that debate. It was stupid. It wasn't really much to go off of, but you know what I mean? I did leave it in the description some sources. If anybody want to expand their knowledge and build on whatever they got to build on. But outside of that, man, I ain't going to hold y'all up. I'm going to play this anthem and get up out of here.
From Africa, but they will be able to tell you about Africa. They wouldn't be vaguely saying they from Africa, brother. Like when a European says I'm from Europe, he doesn't say I'm from Europe. He says I'm from Germany. I'm from a particular province. I still got people out there, right? You know, when people say hold on. When people say they from Asia, they tell you where about from Asia they from. They tell you their province. They tell you they still got people out there. These people will confirm that they are indeed a part of their heritage. But you niggas was calling y'all African? Oh, mysteriously, you have no contact with the people you say you descend from. So I don't believe you. Bro.
Hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. The roots of a tree and not hate the tree.
You ain't no Indian, please try again. Everybody know you's an African. And Malcolm X said, you can't hate the root without hating the tree. Now take a look at you, you's a wannabe Cherokee. And I told you before, you need some therapy. And why you never show the genealogy? You owe your ancestors an apology. And you know they turning over inside of their graves just because you don't wanna come from a slave. So you gotta take this whipped in. I caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Hey, caught another apple slipping. Hey, caught another apple slipping. Hey, caught another apple. Caught another. Let's go. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Yo, check this out, man. You wasn't already here, man. Dane Calloway lied to you, man. The research guy lied to you, man. Karimio lied to you, man. Your ancestors come from Africa, whether you like it or not. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you will always be an African. You can't deny the facts. You can't deny the evidence. You can't deny the genealogy. You can't deny the DNA. You can't deny it, man. Whether you like it or not, you are African. Call the abo slipping. That's all we do. That's all we do. Let's go.
Got some dewy-eyed thing that you got a friend. I still ask you to look at that mirror. And if nothing's staring back at you is friendly, then you've got no friend.